Hi there. Today we're going to play Six Ages 2, Lights Going Out. This is the sequel to Six Ages 2, Ride Like the Wind, which I played a long time ago. Here you can see it actually. And I'm not actually going to continue from the sequel, which the prequel. This is the sequel. You're able to continue from the prequel with the same sort of world and carried on to this sequel, but I'm going to start a new game for certain reasons. Alright. So in the prequel, actually I chose Emperor Yelm. This is like based off of the world of Glorantha, which is from RuneQuest, a tabletop RPG. It's got a really interesting world. This game has a really interesting sense of world building because of that background. And so I felt that I needed to kind of roleplay a little, but I'm not really particularly want to become like a tribe in the story, so I just picked a Star Wars tribe. I basically played as if I was some organization in Star Wars. So here we can see your story begins not too long after the gods made people. The Golden Age was a time of harmony ruled by the Sun God, Yelm, and his appointees. Your clan traces its ancestry back to those times. Which of the gods did they favor? So in the original, or I guess the prequel to this, I chose Emperor Yelm because it was as if it was the emperor of, I was actually referring to the new Star Wars trilogy, Emperor Snoke. So I basically played as if I was the First Order and did my choices and decision making and tried to play like I was them. That way it's easier to play. I think if you roleplay kind of like you kind of have an idea of what you're trying to do, and I already had a template in the First Order, so that's what I did last time. But I didn't want to choose the same choices because if you use your old save, it locks you into those choices, so I didn't want that. I wanted to kind of progress with the Star Wars trilogy in this game. So I'm actually gonna go for Ernalda this time. I'm actually using the story. So this is spoilers. The Return of Skywalker story. So the sort of timeline I'm kind of doing that in is towards the end of it. So at that point, spoiler alert for the final time, somehow Emperor Palpatine returned. So because of that, I don't want to play as the First Order anymore. This is takes place generations after the original prequel. I'm going to actually play as Ernalda, the Great Earth Mother, whose bounty made sure no one was ever hungry. And I'm going to take that as bounty being bounty hunters. And kind of the Earth restoring post the First Order and somehow Palpatine returns and all that jazz. I know a lot of people didn't like that story because it was kind of shoehorned in after a lot of directorial failures and shifting around of the story. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Ernalda. Last time we went with Yelm, let's go for Ernalda this time. So Umath is the storm god, and one thing you'll see with the story of Six Ages is there's various gods. Umath is the storm god, and he actually is worshipped by the rams. In the previous story, we did not like the rams. We were basically the horse riding tribe, and the rams were the storm tribe. And we worshipped Elmal, or Yelm, the sun god, and Umath is his counterpart, basically. So I considered Elmal to be the sun side of this storm side. So they're counterparts. So what I meant is I considered them to be two parts of the Force. So in my Star Wars analogy to this, Skydome. Oh, come on, it writes itself. Skydome, that's like it's like a Dyson sphere, or that could be even the Skywalker. Skywalker, like home, the Skydome. That'd be awesome. Just kidding. I was talking about the Death Star. That's probably going to be the Death Star in our analogy. Constantly moving and violent, he rebelled against Yelm. Yelm's celestial sons responded, sending Umath crashing to his death in the far north. So honestly, I guess Yelm in this case is like Anakin, and Umath is like Palpatine, because he sent him crashing down that one big like hole. I don't know. But storm gods are associated with Sith lightning. I know that for sure. Sun, I don't know how that plays in yet, but you can see the story sort of building on top of whatever this story is that they're actually portraying. Anyway, other gods fought as well. As instability spread, humans became more dependent for survival on the gods. In turn, humans helped the gods. Which famous event of the gods did your ancestors support? So, again, this time I'm playing like a different group of people. Last time I was the First Order, so I think I chose the Battle of Akashar, when Shining Elmal saw through the stratagems of the Changer. And this just sounds like something that happened in Star Wars for some reason, so like this is probably when Kylo Ren saw that Luke Skywalker was like a Force projection, kind of. So that goes with the First Order, but now we're several generations apart, so I'm going further into the storyline. And I thought about this. The reason I haven't actually played this game fully, I've played the demo quite a few times just to get a feel for it, and it's much like the first game. But I really wanted a full playthrough, but to play as a Star Wars tribe once again. And I went with the thought process that if the milk gift of Aralda, the cow mother, I remember Luke Skywalker drank that blue milk, so that is why we're going with blue milk. Ever since then, men and women of your clan have been gifted with a knack for animals. Blue milk. Umath's son Orlanth challenged Emperor Yelm's stale rule, armed with the new power of death, the Death Star. Come on. He slew Yelm, sending his light to the underworld. Like, I guess Yelm is just the light side of the Force, maybe? Because you have Elmal, who will I'll actually just read the story, but you'll find out that Elmal is his son, who now is the new god of the sun. When the sun fell from the sky, the empire fell apart. Smaller suns lit the world in Yelm's place. Darkness, storm, and water gods threatened Anaxiel the sailor. Anaxiel the sailor refounded the empire after it was flooded. Look at it, it's just Noah's Ark. But, sorry, Anaxiel's Ark. Many more gods died as the gods' war worsened. Hyalor of Nivora found the crippled spirit who had once been the winged, fanged hippogriff. He saved her from death and made an alliance. Hyalor gave her a new name, Gamari, and she allowed him to ride. Hyalor returned to your ancestors with the secret. They became the first riders. So these are our ancestors. The first game in the Six Ages 2 Septilogy, I think it's gonna be. They're gonna make 6 ages because there's 6 of them. Anyway, I think this is the second one of it. Actually, the first game was a PC game, didn't do too well, got ported to iOS, and then did better. It's called King of Dragon's Pass. And I didn't play that, but I saw it being played, and I was very interested in the world, so I played the second one. Storm and cold continued their conquests. The great sheet of ice crushed the Emperor's northmost city. Despite its volcano gods, it ground relentlessly south. The Emperor built an immense dome to hide under. Death Star. I mean, they made 1 million of those, so like every time like they blew up one, they made another one for each trilogy or something. I don't know. No, there was 3 in this story. Anyway. Built the immense dome to hide under. Rather than cower inside, the citizens of Nivora chose to move away from the glacier. Your ancestors had trained horses for riding. Others drove chariots. Everybody left the city forever and made a new home to the south. Sad. Your clan grew and prospered, dividing and migrating until coming up against Orlanth worshippers. So these are the Ram people, the Orlanth worshippers, who are against the Riders. Meanwhile, the gods continued to fight, and the world grew colder and darker. Your hero Baron fell for Ridalda, a descendant of Orlanth. After convincing both clans to allow their marriage, Baron and Ridalda celebrated the union by riding to the other side. You gained the powers of the storm. Ridalda's people learned to ride. So Baron was like a heroic child born to our rider clan. And he was destined for great things, such as marrying Ridalda, a princess of a Ram tribe. We had to pay a huge bride price and do a lot of heroic tasks, like Herculean tasks, just to get her father's and clan leader's approval for her hand in marriage with our hero Baron. It was like 200 cows. 200 cows. That is so many cows. We'll see, cows are so important in this game. Cows are life in this game, and cows are just everything. 200 is a lot of cows. And the other side is like the God's realm. It's like you have normal people, but it's kind of still a magical and fantastical world. But God's realm is like the world of the stories of the gods. And it's interesting because the time is the time of the other side, like the timeline, is not very clear, and stories kind of blend into other stories. Riding into the other side can be either like a really amazing endeavor, or it can be really scary if you don't know what you're doing. because you're reenacting the stories of gods as if you were like Greek or Roman tragedies, or not tragedies, but like Greek or Roman like stories of gods, like Zeus, um, Hercules. Like you're playing like heroes and gods, and it's a very interesting core part of the story where you actually perform rituals to the gods and you worship them. Um, Occasionally, you journey to the other side. Really cool. Many of your former kin considered you traitors. Your own folk found it confusing to worship the Earth Goddess under the name Ernalda instead of her rider name, Nyalda. Ridalda appeased the ancestral spirits of her husband's clan by pledging to always uphold the rider virtue of. So I'm kind of at the end of this Star Wars story for the original trilogy leading to the sequel trilogy, Return of Skywalker. So I'm kind of like at the part where Rey is at the end and she's like, spoiler warning once again, she is the last Skywalker. And she's like, she's just there in a foreign land. Now her story. Oops. I'm going to reload that because that's not what I wanted. We are not ferocious. Hi there, once again. Let's correct what we did wrong. I have to delete the save. Whoops. We're known for unifying riders and rams. We didn't even do anything. We weren't even created. So I'm just going to quickly go through our choices. First dead, we'll do on Ernalda. We like blue milk, Earth Mother. The Earth is healing. So I accidentally chose Ferocity. I must have misclicked it. I meant to choose Forward Movement because now it is a post original characters story, so now we're exploring the new sort of world of Star Wars 6 Ages, or Star Ages, or 6 Wars. Anyway, Ferocity is the First Order tribe, clan of people. Finding the truth, I mean, we kind of already know the truth. Avid trading. Not really. Lusty feasting. Okay, so we're in like a post Star Wars story. That's kind of what we're going for. Baron and Ridalda lived longer than most and assumed rule of her tribe, now known as the Barontelli. I think I actually said that right. At the height of their power, King Baron and Queen Ridalda built the fortress where your clan still lives. Mighty Baronstead. Baronstead. Baronstein Bears. Berenstain Bears? I'm getting Mandela affected here. Conquered dwarves fashioned its walls. They installed wards to protect Baronstead against a foe chosen by Ridalda. Which foe did she select? Now it's kind of whack that we have dwarves install it and then you can choose dwarves to protect against. That's kind of a very dwarf fortress-esque thing to do, which I also played. Also had a very interesting world and also had like what I consider a wizard create the game. Blueprints, I consider the creator of Wizard too. There's like people who are very engrossed in a world or like concept that they like devote a lot of time to kind of fleshing that out and presenting their interpretation of it, or just creating the world themselves. They're wizards. I think they look like wizards too. Yeah, it'd be interesting actually to play this game in this as if similar to the story of Boat Murdered, if anybody knows that one. It's a dwarf fortress, which is a game where you play as dwarves and you manage dwarves in your settlement, and then go through like a lot of different survival and like thriving of your civilization of dwarves. And it has a lot of interesting story elements and hooks. It's been like developed for like 20-30 years, and it's on Steam now. It was not before, and before it was all ASCII art. But yeah, there was a playthrough called Boat Murdered. That's a very interesting story. I recommend you look it up. It's a story of how, like, I think in web forms that people passed off ownership of the leadership, of the fortress, and then like they role-played like being the leader of the fortress as one of the citizens who they promoted to a noble. And like the story is so insane, and the adventures and crazy shenanigans and hijinks they get up to are very interesting. And in Six Ages, you kind of do something similar. You have a bunch of noble council who give you counsel, and it'd be interesting if you can play as one of them as the leader, and then you kind of switch it up every several years. But hopefully your civilization survives and doesn't get into any crazy death spirals. Anyway, off track. Floods and earthquakes, rival storm worshippers, sun worshippers, trolls. Okay, so I think we're definitely choosing 3 or 4. And I think I'm gonna choose 3. I'm actually not really sure if we're Jedi or Sith anymore, because we were the First Order first, and now we're, well, you'll see what we're gonna become, but we're kind of like Rey after the story. And I don't know if the Sun Worshippers are Jedi and the rival Storm Worshippers are Sith, really, because before we were Sun Worshippers and we were the First Order, but now we are neither. We're actually both. We are Storm and Sun. I'm gonna choose rival Storm Worshippers. Just because I don't think it makes sense to fight the Sun, who we were for in the first story. I feel like the Sun is just the Force itself. And we don't have a problem with Force worshippers, but rival Storm worshippers, I feel like the Storm could represent like people who actually use the Force rather than just the Sith. So rival would be like the Sith, maybe. Or Jedi. Or something new. I don't think either exists anymore in the story. The builders showed off the bold patterns of bronze, but they warned that with chaos loose in the world, even the best wards might sometimes fail. Oh, here's the chaos. It's all ominous. This guy looked like he came from RuneScape. Anyway, Storm Age slowly slipped into the great darkness. Treachery, betrayal, and emptiness re-entered the world and tried to destroy it. the worst chaos gods. The unholy trio gave birth to Wakboth, Lord of Chaos. His chaos armies marched from the north. Baron and Redalda rode to face it, joining Orlanthi heroes from other tribes. How did Baron choose to fight? Sorry, I had to do a voice because it was so ominous. Not Berserk Fury, and not cautiously. It was with Redalda, as always, who chose no. Guile or magic I like. This is Baron. Okay, so Baron is our hero, but he's the hero of the First Order. So he's actually like a Sith. Or maybe he's like... This is all very confusing, to be honest. But I would have chosen magic if I wasn't the First Order previously. Just because it's like... You're a Jedi or like a Sith, but like... I feel like Guile works if you're like the First Order, because it wasn't really a heavy magic empire. And I think the First Order, the mission of the First Order is really to keep order, as Palpatine did in the universe. And there was like all this story about like crazy side stories that like further the lore, like the Vong, I forget what they're called. They're like some outer aliens that are threatening the Empire, and they're actually like an even bigger threat. And I don't even know if it's canon or like a separate universe within the universe, but it's all very confusing. But I'm going with Guile. Da 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 da. I don't remember the Guile theme, but if you can imagine that in your head while I pick it. Baron saw that when heroes rode forth to challenge their enemies, the enemies cheated. He was ready for this, and his followers attacked the monster's followers without warning, catching them by surprise as they were trying to get into position to strike at Baron, but they could not defeat an entire horde. As hero after hero fell, Orlanth called for a retreat. The sword god Humakt and his surviving few champions stood firm while the rest of the army escaped. That was called the Battle of Stormfall. It was only the first defeat, and not even the worst. Oh, we lost? Oh, our enemies cheated. Well, that is true. So this is actually good. I don't even think Kylo Ren really understood how to use the Force that well, so I don't think we can actually have that. And the First Order as in a whole did not really have even Inquisitors, just a couple of dudes. Snoke and Kylo. Wakboth's Chaos Army marched on the Storm Tribe's fort and defeated Humakt and Orlanth. Chaos Gods ransacked the fort and destroyed the great mountain it stood on, the spike at the center of all creation. The explosion was of 1,000,000 avalanches, caving inward upon each other, and it was so strong that the whole mountain was ground into dust. The escaping storm gods blew this dust across the world, which is overcome by a pall of grainy darkness. Okay, so this is why the light's going out. There was an eruption, and now it's the sky is all grainy and filled with ash and soot and dust. Chaos. The few survivors from your clan returned to Baronstead and led the tribe through an endless gloom. Life would be, and I'm just gonna pick normal, Easier than you feared, but still terribly difficult. About as bad as you expect. Worse than you expect. Awful. Oh look, you have this cool like leopard cat thingy. Can't be that bad. Okay, it's that bad. They're wearing like pots as hats. It's awful. But it's about as bad as I expect. You probably won't starve right away. That's always a good thing. Divinations revealed that no matter how tenaciously you survived, the world would end soon. You have at most a couple generations. It would probably be 3 generations before chaos destroyed everything. No one really knows how long you have. You gotta choose 3. It's just the trilogy. 3 generations of Skywalkers. Anakin, Luke, Rey. 3 generations. Poetic. Perhaps 3 generations was optimistic, but your clan was resolved to hold off the darkness for as long as you could. And now we're going to reveal what we created. We are the Skywalker clan. Skywalkers, maybe? I need to think about that. I'm gonna keep restores just because in case I misclick or I don't capture footage and have to reload, it'd be nice to be able to go back if I actually do need to re-record something. Don't want to have another Blueprints Red Guard censorship situation. Okay, so Ernalda, the Earth Mother, cool. Milk gift, yes, blue milk. Forward movement. We're going to move forward, progress the story, and explore. We're going to move past the story of Star Wars into maybe something worse, but it could also be better. Dauda had Baronstead warded against rival storm worshippers. Good, good. At the Battle of Stormfall, Baron fought with Guile. Cue Guile theme. Life would be bad. Oh. Okay. Kind of is. That's just real. You believe that the world will end in about 3 generations. Yes, the trilogy ended in 3 generations of Skywalkers. Now, do we pick Skywalker or Skywalkers? Skywalker would imply we're just one person. Skywalkers, I think, implies that we're the tribe of Skywalkers. I think? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Skywalkers. Let us begin with another reading prompt. The end of the world approaches. Chaos devours all. The people of Baronstead, heirs of the Skywalkers clan. Oh, I don't like that. Maybe I should do Skywalker plural or singular. Okay, let me think of other like tribes and clans. Like if you call people by the clan name, or like you would call it like the Cherokee tribe, the Mojave, the Iroquois, Creek Indians, heirs of the Skywalkers clan, Skywalker clan. We are the Skywalker people? The Skywalker tribe? Yeah, okay. Once again, I'm going to need to take a mulligan. Be right back. Hi there. Once again, we're back to right the wrongs of ourselves. Again. Get rid of that. And let's do this. So I'm just gonna quickly do this again. Okay, this is take 3 for the third game in the series, Dragon Pass, 6 Ages 2, Ride Like the Wind, 6 Ages 2. Lights going out, and now we are the Skywalker clan. Third take, 3 trilogies, 3 episodes per trilogy, 3 generations of Skywalkers, 3 generations of our people, 6 ages. Let's do this. That's much better. Now we're back. The end of the world approaches. The chaos devours all. The people of Baronstead, heirs of the Skywalker clan, don't know it yet, but they have a chance. Not to stop ultimate destruction, that is inevitable, but if they fashion a strong strand, oh, this is a strand type game, combining practical resources and cosmic values, they can help remake the world after it dies. Small decisions the leaders of Baronstead make from season to season may determine all. What value should their strand begin with? Oh, this is a strand type game. Earth, air, fire, water. Long ago, the 4 nations lived in peace until the Storm Nation attacked. What value should their strand begin with? Okay, I like Insight or Hope, to be honest, but I don't know. One of the stories is called A New Hope, but I don't think we need a hope. We're already done with the story. We're kind of continuing after. Selflessness actually could be interesting too. I think Insight is like the Force, honestly. So we don't need hope anymore. We already used it in this story. Selflessness. I don't know if we're really helping people. We're like... feel like we're just doing what's in the Force, which is Insight. I think we do Insight. If they survive, they will meet me. If they have well prepared, they will embody my secret against Whackboth, the devil, and his dread gods of chaos. Oh, we're just right into it. Yep, I remember that in the demo, actually. That was a long time ago. But I think this is similar to what happened in the demo. Hey, look, he's got a lightsaber. Hey, these guys are flying. Cool. You can see these are the storm people. They're using tactics of the storm people mixed with the rider people. Using horses. Very interesting. Okay. King Viglanth, the great-grandson of Baron and Rodalda, lost the tribal regalia and his life fighting ogres at the Writhstone disaster. He lost the regalia? Unbelievable. I can't believe he lost the company's colors. The king's colors. His heir, Broloruff, the son, became king of your tribe. As the most powerful king in the valley, it was natural that he would call for unity against the Chaos Horde. When your neighbors refused, he launched a raid to make an example of one of them. The king attacked. Upholders of Dead Yelm's ways, the chariot-driving wheels. The hot-headed restive riders who used to be your kin. The fickle Foro Silvully, Foro Silvali, fellow Orlanthi, who never really really accepted your sun worship. The warlike Vistantes, one of the summer tribes of Orlanthi. We are in the fire season, which is summer, I guess. It's not really analogous to actual seasons because there's 5 of them, but summer is basically the fire season. Yeah. Fair weather and ripening grain allows raiding. And I think this means you're in the 8th year of Roller Rough. It's like solar mixed with bro, and then Ulf. Oh, cool. Okay, so this is what we chose before. There's a bunch of clans. These horses symbols mean rider clans, so our old clan people, but that was several generations ago. These are rams. These are our new people. We are ram people now, but we have rider ways. And these are wheels. These are people from the original city, kind of Yum worshippers. They ride in chariots. It's like blueprints. You have to find out what tribe has what type of transportation. Very funny. But I just want to check if we can see these Foro Silvali people. They do not exist. And do they have the Vestante? No. Okay, so we don't know anybody. I'm not gonna look at the manual. I kind of know how to play the game, but I'll look at that at my own time. Okay, cool. So what do you have to say? Brawler off. Riders and wheels worship Bright Elmo. It is our fellow Orlanthi we must bring back in the line. Oh, I messed something up, actually. He's got heroic leadership. Okay, I messed something up. You're supposed to be able to see what choice they would make. But we saw that these were green. He liked these two. Riders and wheels worship Bright Elmo. It is our fellow Orlanthi we must bring back in the line. Okay. Oh, okay, I fixed it. So yeah, he hates these two. And he's a heroic leadership. How is his diplomacy? Good. Combat, very good. So these are your, like, stats of your leaders, and they help them inform you of decisions related to the topic. So this would be a crisis of leadership, but also one of maybe war and diplomacy. So I think he's generally really good at his decision, has a lot of credibility. Yaraskar. Now this guy's a wizard. Once we were riders, but many of them still haven't forgiven us for joining with the Storm people. He doesn't like the riders. He's just good at lore. Lankor Mai. I think this is the god of lore. He worships Elmal, the sun god. He's a proper lad. Vingat said choose your enemies carefully, so he is great at bargaining. He's very shrewd. Isaris is the god of merchants and trade. I think he's not choosing a side because he's good at bargaining, so he's very shrewd. And he really doesn't have a stake in this one way or the other that well. Whoever we raid today will raid us in the future. Baronstead's wards against storm worshippers will protect us from retaliation from the Foro Silvali, or the Vistantes. So he's for these two also. He's an Orlanth worshipper. So these two are our principal gods. Orlanth is the main god, but Elmul is to a lesser degree also like the main god. Orlanth because we are ram people now, but Elmul because we have rider ways. Leadership good. Combat very good. I mean, he's not great. He looks like a statue of a Greek god though, like a bust of a Greek god. So I'll consider that. Sorry, what did you say? We need people to like us, not fear us. That's very true. But you didn't say to kill anybody. Ernalda, that is our god. That is actually our principal god, the Earth Mother. Because I wanted to kind of get away from the previous story. We are new people. Combined, we are both Jedi and Sith. Pure Force being. Not really. The Chariot people. Erdailda. And she worships Redalda, who's actually a hero. Okay, that's interesting. She's not really a god, she's like a heroic being. Excellent food. Okay, she's just crazy. You get different personalities of leaders too. You can tell like sometimes from their faces, but I think it's randomized from what I saw in the last game. You get sometimes crazy people that... I don't know if she's crazy, but the way she talks... The Chariot people. You get people that give you good advice, but don't like actually give you anything useful. And then you get like stern people that are like... have an opinion and just want to carry it out. You can see the ages of people too. Typically in 6 Ages, people don't live until like past 60. I think they get a chance to die every year, so you want younger people to be on your council usually, but we have 3 generations, so somebody's gonna die at some point. Aaron and Nadalda would never attack their own kin. That is true. You're smart. Iralda. I think that is the goat god. Lore and food excellent. Yeah, so we can't attack our old people just because of that. Okay, so everybody likes these two. Fellow Orlanthi who never really accept your sun worship. I mean, we don't want to force people to be one with the Force. It's just a part of us and they can accept that or not. The warlike Vistanti, one of the summer tribes of Orlanthi. I think that's what I'm talking about. We don't like rival storm tribes anyway. And these guys are warlike. They're causing problems. Yeah. Your reputation as fearsome magicians and warriors was well earned, and Brolar himself was wounded by javelin. But with blazing sword, he drove... Blazing sword. Lightsaber. He drove the Vistantes before him, returning home with much plunder. Relations between you and the Vistantes remain fraught to this day, but Brolarov hopes for unity remained elusive. Okay, so if they're wounded, they get grayed out, and then you can't actually use them for advice because they're recovering. About a year after Brolarov's raided the Vistantes tribe, Ernaldo's magic failed. People said the goddess was dead, taken by Nantraya, the undead emperor. Your fields barely produce more grain than you sow. So that is not good. Food is a big deal in these games. Now helpful winds and rains have ceased, and priests throughout the valley can't contact Orlanth. Whether your gods are dead, captive, or away fighting chaos, your temples no longer give normal benefits. Holy people say these sacred spots have residual magic, which you can keep alive by continuing to maintain them. Other people eye the sacrifices and think they could be spent on better things. Without Orlanth's kingship magic, it will be harder to rule our tribe. That is true. So he wants to continue worshipping Orlanth. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Oh no, he would sound old. Nothing like this has ever happened before. It's hard to be certain what happened to the gods when we cannot reach them. Alright. I don't know if I should keep doing voices for everybody. It's gonna be really annoying. Okay, I'll do it after we get our actual leaders, maybe. If it's not too annoying, because... I've played the demo, and you don't stay with these people. This is like a prologue. Much like this video, this is just introduce the game. Next episode, we'll actually start playing. Each temple requires a sacrifice of 10 goods and 5 herds every year. When Baron married Ronalda, Orlanth and Ernalda joined Elmo as our main deities. We must remain true to the Earth Queen. She was the first goddess our ancestors worshipped. Maintaining her great temple will allow us to draw on her magic when we need it. Oh, sorry, I didn't check what their decisions were. Okay, she likes Ernalda. Before now, we needed the gods. Now they need us. Wait, what did she say? Keep up sacrifices to both gods. Continue sacrificing to both gods, but on a smaller scale. There are living gods we can sacrifice those sheep and valuables to help feed us. Oh, and something I didn't mention before, you can see what gods they worship by the symbols here. Elmal is the circle to represent the sun, and Orlanth is the storm, represented by this swirl. Sorry about that. The storm kind of blew in after I mentioned it, and I had to sneeze. I'll try to edit that sneeze out if possible. Oh, and he's got the storm kind of tattooed on him. I love these games that are so detailed in their lore building, their world building. And each of these guys, you can see there's like little like trinkets. They have like stories in themselves of their design. It's just nice just even watching like other people play this and just looking at the pictures. I just like looking at the pictures of this game. The art is very nice. It's a nice hand-drawn style. Okay, so we have one person for like each thing, which is not good. Our boss says Orlanth. This guy, she says Ernalda, which is actually our main god. She says do one or the other, and let it fall into disrepair. So if we do both, we would be satisfying these two and her, but the fact that is we need to actually move the sacrifices to better uses right now because the world is in chaos. The light is going out. So I think we do both, but on a smaller scale would be reasonable, because then everybody gets their way. We kind of worship both, but in a smaller way, so we still save some things. It's like the most in-between answer. So who are you? Erdale, duh. So I thought you were crazy, but you're the smartest one. Sometimes a leader has to choose the option that doesn't really satisfy everybody, but is the midpoint of it all, I guess. That's what I'll do. Roll off 13. Making the hard choices. People were proud to keep up the faith, though they hoped that this was not an expensive decision. Our reduced sacrifices kept alive the flicker of magic that remained in Ernalda's temple and the shrine to Orlanth. Thank you. Oh, you guys are old now. Actually, it's just you, Broloff. You really aged poorly. You kind of remind me of the king in the new Game of Thrones series. I forgot because it's so long since it's actually premiered, the new season. Dance of Dragons or something? Anyway. With the Earth Queen and her protector dead, tribal unity frayed. Our tribe mates, the other Barantheli clans, have flouted the king's authority for years, refusing to send worshippers to our temples to Orlanth and Ernalda, or pay even token tribute. It is time to respond. Without a strong king, the tribe cannot unite against the many threats we all face. So, number one, we vowed above all to restore the authority of the king. Broloff's father was slain and we lost his regalia, but we are still a tribe and should act like it. We considered it important to make the tribe what it once was. Tribes encourage trade, but we can still trade without a tribe. The other clans are still our neighbors. We consider it important to make the tribe what it once was, or the days of tribes have ended for good. This is a sign of how bad things have gotten. The Barantheli tribe was once the shining jewel of the valley. I'm not going to continue giving them voices, even though I gave them their first voices, because they're not they're no longer like gonna be part of the clan after we reach the current generation. He didn't give anything to us though. This is a sign of how bad things have gotten. The Barantheli tribe was once the shining jewel of the valley. So true. Ernalda helped Orlanth to make the first tribe. We are stronger together. Apes strong together. The tribe is stronger still with the king. She likes 1 and 2. Aaron and Radada founded this tribe and made us the royal clan. Anyone who opposes the tribe opposes our founders. She likes 1 and 2. As life gets worse, survival is more important than lost glory. She likes 4. We vowed above all to survive, putting talk of kings and tribes behind us. Or 3. The days of tribes have ended for good. Nobody likes that. That is just probably like you insta-lose. But generally what you find is if you pick the choice that most people like, or that in the situation is your best person for that situation likes, then you'll be okay. So he's a king, so he'll be completely biased towards this, of course, but if we consider everybody else, these guys all like 1 and 2. She likes 4, noted choice. This guy likes 2 and 3. He's kind of crazy. But this guy likes 2, so I think 2. That is like kind of the most watered down choice. We consider it important to make the tribe what it once was. We can like consider it later after we restore ourselves in future generations to what it once was, you know, put it off for later. That's a classic leadership technique. People agreed that the tribe was key, although some wondered whether this was worthwhile without a strong king. Others said we shouldn't overlook survival as a clan. Hey, it's the cat. Glad we're keeping the cat this whole time. Survival could continue to become harder and the tribe continue to fall away. Although you keep sacrificing to Orlanth and Ernalda season after season, they are still dead, and more gods no longer respond to sacrifices. Other clans distrust our traders since Ansari's is dead. Lankor Mai no longer answers questions, and much knowledge has been lost as elders die before passing it on. Okay, we gotta choose again. least Elmo the Loyal Son still protects us. The only way to know for sure what happened is to our gods is to ask the Lord of Knowledge. We must retain his temple. 1 and 2. He likes to keep sacrificing to all the gods, and 2, maintain at least 1 temple. Okay. He doesn't like anything. Every temple needs a yearly sacrifice of 10 good and 5 herds. Herds is cows. Shrines take 4 goods and 2 herds. First Inalda, then Orloth, now Aseres and Lankarmai. That's what I'm saying. Astrolagor, or Astragor. You're speaking the truth out here. Our clan worshipped Ernalda from the very beginning. It would be foolhardy to stop. So they didn't like anything. She likes 2 and 3. Maintain at least 1 temple and scale back the sacrifices to Aseres and Lankarmai. I didn't think things could get any worse. She didn't like anything. Some say they are, but sleeping. Either way, we have to make sure we still support the gods who answer. So, generally, in this case, they like to maintain at least 1 temple. So, the thing is, though, I don't want to destroy 1 temple. Because if I remember correctly in the demo, when you destroy a temple to a dead god, I don't think you can reconstruct a temple just because there's no point to it. Lankor Mai is the god of knowledge, I think. And in the previous game, the god of knowledge was not that helpful in the boons it gave you, so I'm going to be honest, I don't really care to give Lankor Mai a temple. A temple is actually costlier than a shrine, as we saw from Celebos. Is this a new guy? No, he's the old guy. But in the prequel game, if you had a temple to Aseres, I believe it gave you an extra trade route, which is actually a very good benefit. As well as Isaris, or the previous merchant, I forget what that god's name was, but in the Riders clan, the merchant had a lot of really good benefits. So, I want at least a temple to Aseres and a shrine to Lankor Mai. And I don't think, if I do this, I think I only keep 1 temple. So I know you can actually deconstruct temples, so I'm going to... This is the answer. I'm agreeing with the majority here, but I want to do it in a roundabout way. I think I can deconstruct a temple at some point. So I'm just going to keep sacrificing, I think, at this point. Right? Prologue 20. I mean, you guys are all old. What happens now is up to the future generation and not you guys. One thing I do want to say is I kind of figuring out how to process each scene. I don't think I'm going to read the entire scenes after I start the game, just because there's repeat scenes sometimes, and also it's a lot of reading. I might summarize it, though, just to say what's happening. And I'm probably not going to read every decision, but I will read the one we decide on. I'm not going to read everybody's dialogue, probably. I'm not even going to do it in character sometimes. But yeah, I think the best way to handle all the dialogue here is just, I'm just going to read it, consider everything, just to be quick about things. It'll take too long to read everything. To do the voices, it's going to strain my voice. But, I think the best way to do this is to summarize what's happening, and I'm gonna pick one person with the answer that I go with to represent it, and then read it through their voice. I think that's the most fun way to do it. So it could still be relatively quick, efficient, and still a little bit fun. Because this is like a role-playing game, kind of. There's like a really vibrant and very dense story and world. So you kind of want to get into that and not just kind of play it as a kind of a min-max thing. I mean, it is a roguelite kind of, but very loosely. I think you should just enjoy the story. So we're gonna keep sacrificing to all the gods. Okay, who did I like the best that had that answer? Only you had that answer. Garaskar. I forgot your voice, sorry. Okay. And that brings us to the time of Iverlantho, his 4th year of rulership. Even though he's not even our leader. Where is he? He's not even here. King Broloff the Sun and most of his advisors died 4 years ago of Blue Plague, or during the Blood Blizzard. That sounds awful. The Skywalkers huddled. Yep, see, if we had Skywalkers plural, it'd be Skywalker SS. Which is not good. We want the Skywalkers plural there, that's good. Huddled around Baronstead. Surrounded by the other Barantheli clans, Roloff's son Iverlantho became king, but he was essentially a figurehead. We chose Urustina as chief to deal with the concerns of the clans. We are now known as the Clan of Kings. Okay, so I think that's a good point to stop. This is just kind of a prologue video to kind of give some background, and you don't even need to watch this video. Should have said that at the beginning, but you can skip straight to episode 1 just to see the gameplay. This is just to build the world in which I'm going to enjoy the game through. Where basically the Skywalker clan, there's a lot of Star Wars elements, so I think it's easier to play a role-playing game with like decision making and a lot of optimization, if you want to, through the veil of a kind of role-playing character peoples. So this time I chose to play the Skywalkers, and last time I played the First Order, so it's kind of an interesting continuation of the story, even though I didn't choose that save. Just because if I chose that save, the options would have actually locked in. I tested that before, and I couldn't play the new people I wanted to. So yeah, I think we have a good idea of how we're going to play this. I just wanted to introduce it. Again, this video is probably boring, but if you're still here, thank you for watching. Man, I'm just looking at this guy's hair. It looks like ramen noodles. This guy's crazy. I think he's going to be a valuable member of our clan circle, or we're going to kick him off immediately. Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of organization at the start of next episode, the first episode, and get into the gameplay a little bit. So I'm very excited for this series. This is one of my favorite roguelikes. I don't really roguelites. I'm not particularly. I really like roguelites, but I don't play too many of them. But the ones I play are usually like unique, like this one, and blueprints. Really excited for this one. So I will see you next time. Hope you join me for the full playthrough of the Skywalker clan. Bye for now.